extremely scared. Cause like, why was I in a Shoeonhead video? Did I say femcel? I'm scared. I'm surprised no one came after me. Wait, let me check my like DMs. Well, I guess if she crossed my name out, I guess it would make sense. Responding to backlash.
Hello, friends.
I can't. It keeps coming back.
The male loneliness epidemic.
I'm gonna
If you haven't
hyperventilate
watched that
and
video,
die.
please go watch it first before you watch this one.
Should I?
A lot of hate.
Wait, does she think my tweet was about her? I didn't even know that that whole discourse was started by her. Did she think my tweet was about her? I literally just saw a bunch of people talking about it on Twitter. That's crazy.
From angry femcels calling me ugly to angry incels saying I'm a grifter who only wants to make money or something.
I mean, I don't think she's
Untrue
ugly.
criticisms. Let's get into today's sponsor. Men are lacking purpose, and a man will crawl through broken glass for a purpose.
Yeah, but what purpose are they crawling through broken glass for? Is it a doll? Sorry. God, this conversation.
And there's a lot of truth to what she's saying there and in the whole video, which is worth watching.
Thanks, Matt Walsh. It resonated with a lot of people, feeling like for once they were being heard.
I'm sorry, but finally, men are being listened to. Like, loneliness is not exclusive to men, though. It's not. It's not. Like, what do you mean men are finally being listened to, bro? Oh
We're in a
my God.
place.
Is this the consequences of your own action?
They're gonna be so mad at that one. I mean, it kind of is the consequences of their own actions. I mean, that's basically what I was saying. But, yeah. I'm sorry, this is so funny. Like, only men can get away with, like, pretending they're oppressed. Like, there are problems with men, but, like, this is so, like, dismissive of, like, women's issues. It's so dismissive. No one's saying men deserve to be lonely. I mean, I don't think they deserve to be lonely. I want them to be better people, but they need to be better people before people want to, like, interact with them and get emotionally connected with them. That's literally it. Yeah, they'll be okay.
Is there a male loneliness epidemic right now, or are more and more women just progressively realizing that there's a lot better things to do in life than be stuck with a toxic, insecure man?
It's really not that complicated. Some of you are toxic. Some of you are lonely, but some of you don't know how to interact with people, especially women. Not a lot of you. Oh my God. This is gonna get me heated again. I can't.
I don't think we're in the middle of a male loneliness epidemic. We're in the middle of a mass female awakening.
Okay, that's a little corny. That's a little corny. That's a little corny. Okay. I don't think that's true. I think it's more just women's attitudes have shifted and men are still kind of catching up, where more and more women are wanting liberation, not really wanting to take on traditional roles, and men are like kind of taking a bit longer to get there. So there's a bigger disconnect, I guess. If that makes sense. I mean, because men are going to want to hold on to, like, the power they get from patriarchy, but now women aren't, like, feeding into it anymore, so they feel lonely because, yeah. I mean, we're encouraged to be more emotional. Like, I'm not going to deny that, like, men are discouraged from, like, having emotions. Like, that's true, but that's bad, and that's something that needs to be worked on. I'm not going to even deny that. Like, there's reasons for why people are claiming there's a loneliness epidemic, but it's a little more complicated than it's just men are so lonely. Like, there's a lot of social factors and they're just disconnected and not really in touch with how things have changed. They're not adapting how they should be. They're not adapting as fast as women are, and it isolates them. Does a man or a woman need someone from the other gender to solve loneliness? No, I think there's a problem with male friendships, like male-to-male friendships. You know, I feel like men tend to just generally not get as deep emotional connections in terms of friendship and like emotional intimacy. Like, I mean, even emotional intimacy in like a platonic way, just like being open and honest and being yourself around friends. I feel like men tend to be more cold with each other. But I mean, I personally have like encouraged my like guy friends to be more emotionally intimate, and I think that has resulted in them also having better better friendships with their other guy, with the boys, you know? I mean, it's like a lot of factors, but mental issues with the homies. Yeah, I think we need to encourage. I've seen more and more of it, and I really like to see like guys who are just really close to each other and like talk about their issues, talk about their feelings, and are honest. But like we need to encourage that more. Like close friendships are so important for everyone, and I think men maybe value individualism a little too much, or maybe are just a bit out of touch, maybe didn't catch up on like how to socially interact with people. I think it's not like a loneliness epidemic, but it's like, how do I interact with people epidemic, you know? Interacting with people like a normal person. Social expectations of men in a changing social dynamic. No, I completely agree. That's what I was trying to get at. Like kind of the expectation for men being the same, or like growing up and men kind of having a hard time breaking away from how they were raised, and then women obviously being more attracted to a more liberating, changing social dynamic because it's liberating to us. It allows us to be more, you know, free, I guess. Whereas men have a harder time letting go of it because of issues with like, I know a lot of men have issues with treating women like equals, or even respecting women authority figures. Like I feel like I never really got respect from guys, even if I had like authority over them, or like just in terms of my intelligence. They don't want a woman to tell them. They don't want a woman to just be better at them at anything. They don't like that. So they tend to just not listen and dismiss anything a woman has to say, like advice, anything. I don't know, I'm rambling. You don't think that's true? Like what? I mean, maybe like it's getting better, but generally I have not felt respected. Is capitalism being upheld by the stereotypes that they were socialized into growing up? I mean, yeah, that. I mean, it's like how you're raised socially, and whether or not you feel comfortable with a shifting social dynamic. Because women are gonna be eager for a shifting social dynamic because it's beneficial to them, whereas men have to give up a little bit and be equals with women. Some of the existential issues with late stage capitalism and how the old expectations of men are intertwined with that. Women be asking a lot? What? We're asking to be interacted with like we're normal people. I can tell you right now, a lot of men, not most, but there are a good amount of men who don't treat me like a normal person, who just can't talk to me like I'm just like a friend. Like it always has to be weird, but it doesn't have to be weird. We're literally like, if you had any idea how bare minimum women are so bare minimum, especially when it comes to men. Like you could just paint your nails and that's like huge. What's my dream man? Jack Black. I'm gonna continue, you guys. This is why I hate talking about this, because people like to misunderstand my point.
Men's loneliness epidemic that's going on. That sounds like it really sucks. Just wondering if they have considered smiling more.
Wow, that's a really funny joke. I've never heard that before.
It is a funny joke. The joke is that she's flipping it on her head. You agree? Okay. I hope people understand what I mean, because I'm trying so hard to just like be good faith. We're describing the same points but from different directions. No, Jack Black is absolutely my dream guy. I don't think that men are like completely each individual man is completely at fault. I've never said that. It's something that they're gonna have to work on. It's like any other type of privilege. If you're raised with any privilege, it's your job to work through that and make sure, you know, you're learning and becoming a better person for the people who don't have privilege. Yeah, like it's always goes back to, this is my problem. It always goes back to women being like, women have no sympathy. Women just need to like suck up to men, sit down, shut up, listen to men. Like, no, like you guys are creepy. Like no women don't want to talk to you. Who is vouching for female superiority? That's not a thing people do. Are these female supremacists in the room with us right now? We are all creepy. What? The thing is, if you are creepy, you don't just don't act creepy. Don't say that to people. Be polite, be friendly, act like a normal person. But also, some people are, I wouldn't consider myself creepy. Do I have my horny moments? Yeah. But I'm never disrespectful. I'm a female supremacy advocate. What about it? There are extremes to all sides of the spectrum. Yeah, but which one do you think is more dangerous? And which one do you think has more people in it? Because I can tell you right now, way more people believe in male supremacy, and it's also extremely more dangerous. Like, are you kidding? Like, which of these people actually have power? Male supremacists are the ones with power. Female supremacists aren't doing to anyone. They maybe make you feel bad on Twitter or something, but like, they're not really doing anything tangible. It's not happening. I don't know why people are worried about these like non-issues.
Bleak. Now, TikTok isn't the only place where this insanity happened. The thumbnail of my video went viral on Twitter, which led to some of the most funniest and unhinged reactions.
Is this where I'm scared? I'm scared.
Men were born bad. Men are subhuman, and their loneliness can't be cured.
What? You're really taking someone with an Ariana Grande profile picture seriously? How many people actually believe men are subhuman? Like, go out into the world, and I can promise you're gonna find like 10 people who believe men are superior to women before you find someone like this.
Because they can't relate to actual human beings. Most men are born useless, and are meant to die alone.
That's terrible. That's terrible. She better not compare my tweet to this, because I said nothing near anything like this. Are you
male
kidding?
suicide rate needs to be higher, actually. These men are-
Yeah, these definitely have all like 3 likes tops. Definitely.
You don't understand the pleasure it gives me to see these men crying and depressed. Imagine losing in the world that is literally built for you.
That's terrible. Oh my god. I mean, that's a little too harsh for me. A little too harsh. I can see that. But like, are you really like taking this as like an actual— this is not an issue. Like, this person's not doing anything that's hurting anyone. But like, they kind of have a point. Like, you're literally complaining about how bad you're struggling in a world that's like, well, it's built for you, by you. Like, yeah. It's a mean tweet, but like, it's not that mean. This is not as mean as the other one.
I'm so tired of the idea that we must have infinite empathy for men's loneliness while women are sexualized from fucking birth. We are assaulted, harassed, raped, and killed for something we didn't choose to be.
Cook!
Boo-hoo, the poor men and their inability to make friends.
Cooking! Literally cooking. No, this is right. Like, how much empathy are we expected to have when I'm like disrespected on the daily? Like, you guys are lonely because you guys are disrespectful. Come on. Oh, that's Jake's fiance? No, but this is true. Like, why am I supposed to be like, oh, I'm so sorry, you're so lonely? Like, what do they want me to do? I'm like, what do you want me to do?
You know we can talk about multiple things at the same time, right? Also, it's
Yes. But you're blaming women and you're calling us unempathetic. We're literally being called unempathetic for like just not wanting to discuss this issue because it like doesn't— because you're blaming women for it. It always goes back to blaming women. It always does.
strange to say that society doesn't care about women's sexual assault. We have domestic violence shelters that we can go to. Men don't. Men—
What? Does she think that men can't go to women's shelters? That's actually true? I mean, you could definitely call them or like go on their website. Oh, they can't, but they have their own. Like, there can't just be nothing. So there are men's shelters. I wonder why there's less of them. I'm not saying that, like, male victims are not, like, it's not actually a problem that they don't get taken as seriously. It is rooted in misogyny. It is. And they deserve to be believed, and it doesn't make them weak or anything that they have been assaulted. That's an issue with misogyny. They don't get taken seriously because they're seen as too strong to actually get assaulted. Oh my god. I mean, I know a man who got like a lot of help from the women's shelters. I think you can at least call them and get resources. Like, you could probably call them and ask if there's anywhere else, because there's other like victim advocacy programs that aren't like women's shelters. Like, there's probably some other organization nearby that will, you know, help you if needed. Like, just a general victims advocacy program. They have that on college, at least on my college campus, they have like a victim advocacy program. I don't know how much they do in terms of like what their resources are, but it does exist. These things do exist. I mean, but it's also like women. Do you really think women are taken like completely seriously? Like women who have been victims? Like, no. No, if anything, women and feminists are probably the ones advocating for male victims to be able to get help for assault. It's the, like, toxic men who are gonna be like, oh, you can't get assaulted, you're a guy. Like, no. No. I don't know what the YWCA is, but I'm assuming there's a lot of organizations that will help any gender. Oh, it's the women's version of YMCA? Oh, I didn't know that was a thing. Yeah, because we're against misogyny and like gender stereotypes, and patriarchy and misogyny is the reason that men aren't taken seriously when they're victims. Like, that's the reason. And we don't like that. I don't like it. I don't want it to happen. I want everyone to be taken seriously. But in general, victims aren't taken seriously of any gender. But yeah, especially men. I do agree with that. But women are assaulted way more often. You had personal experience as a male victim and no one takes it seriously. I'm sorry, you don't deserve that. And I'm advocating for that to not be a thing. I think all victims should be taken seriously. It all has the same root cause. It does.
Men being assaulted by women, men being raped is all played off as a joke. When a little boy is molested by an older woman, it's seen as cool and hot. Society—
No, it's not.
All around. It's not a competition.
Wait, it's seen as like cool and hot by like creepy men. I actually take that very seriously, and I agree that a lot of the times when adult women are the ones committing, you know, gross stuff to kids, it isn't taken seriously, as seriously, usually. But that's because of like the weird like teacher fantasy patriarchy, yeah, like ugh. It's a male fantasy that you are like using to deny a victim. Yeah, it's not women. Yeah, it's always guys being like, God, I wish that were me when I was in school. Ugh. Like, that's disgusting.
I don't give a fuck about male loneliness. Like, bro, if you can't meet a girl, just dial up the queer homie and hook up like a normal person.
That's funny. That's funny. That's clearly a joke. That's clearly a joke. Are you kidding? Are you kidding?
If men are lonely on an epidemic scale, why don't they just cuddle and make out with each other? True. Why don't they just befriend and date each other?
True.
Solve. I love this advice. Just be gay.
Yeah. I mean, it's clearly a joke, but yeah, just be gay. Cooking. They're clearly not being serious.
Tell me why I, as a queer woman, should take time out of my day to care about men and their issues. Quickly. I'm not disabled. Why should I care about disabled people? What?
Wait. She's equating males' issues to disability issues. I haven't even gotten to my tweet yet. I don't know if I can make it. Jesus.
I talk about unions or workers' rights when I'm self-employed.
Oh. What can I do about that, though? I have no power. I have zilch power in doing anything to make men happy. Besides maybe sucking their... Sorry, that's disgusting. But I feel like I can't make men happy otherwise. I've tried. What, do you want me to call men cute more often? Like, there isn't really much I can do besides, like, gratify them. A man flowers? A man's never bought me flowers, so why would I buy a man flowers? Idiot. You're not an idiot, I'm so sorry. But no, a man's never bought me flowers, are you kidding? Why would I buy a man flowers? Why are men happy? Because people don't like them. And they don't know how to interact with people.
Terrible reason not to care. There's no such thing as misandry, just women who have had bad experiences with men and have woken up. There's no such thing as racism, just white people who have had bad experiences with black people.
What? If I got flowers, you know what? If all it took for men to be normal was flowers, then that sounds like a worthy cause. Wait, so you're really equating, wait. I don't like that she's like using men as like the oppressed group. Like, why? Like, no, that doesn't equate. They're the ones with the power. That doesn't equate. That's not how that works. That's not a comparable thing. I mean, there's obviously complexities and like social issues where like there's like weird depending on how things are, but like in general, men have benefits in most aspects over women. I don't think you can act like they're oppressed. That's crazy. That you compared it to a white person talking about a black person. That's crazy.
Male loneliness epidemic, and it's just them not being able to get laid. Like,
Oh, that didn't pick up. I mean, I've been given no reason to think that this is not what's actually. They're just mad that women won't just them. Like, this is just the nice guy. Well, that's what they're saying. Like, I don't think it's male loneliness. I think it's literally just them like not getting what they want because people aren't like accepting it. Like, come on. It's not because of women, but they feel like it is because we're just like we don't like the attitudes.
like even if you talk to some of these incels, the ones who like don't hate women, they're gonna
Wait, incels that don't hate women. I thought that was their whole thing. Isn't that like their whole thing? That's like their whole thing is that they hate women and get no that are feminists and don't get laid. I mean, well, yeah, I think there's a valuable conversation in like talking about like how to improve men's friendships with each other. I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't even be talking about it if like that was the conversation, but it always comes back to women. But I think like isolation and loneliness is like, yeah, I think it's a thing for everyone. That's just like capitalism. We're isolated and we're stressed out by individualism. Make cities walkable. Yeah. Make it easier for people to become pals.
not really about sex. It's about companionship. It's about friendship. It's about having a girlfriend, a wife, a family.
Well, I can tell you that a lot of men think of girlfriend and wife as sex, so there's always a lack of charitability. Like I've been trying so hard to be charitable, but they're always like, "You have no empathy." And I'm like, I'm just trying to get to like what your intentions actually are because I don't trust it.
Instead of male loneliness epidemic, call it a cis male unfability crisis.
That's awesome.
They have to add cis now because they don't want to insult trans men. Men suck. I hate them. Ugh.
Wait, no. That's not. I don't think that's applicable. I feel like that was an okay tweet because it's just talking about how those people act. I've never had a trans man. I mean, I'm sure they do, but yeah, you could just call them men, but you know. It was a simple joke. It was silly. Okay?
Not you. You're not a man. Yikes. Maybe I'll start worrying about their loneliness when they stop unaliving and raping children and
Oh,
women. Yeah.
I'm being lumped in with these people, Arnie. Was that my tweet? No. I haven't seen my tweet yet.
Lonely guys, stop raping children, and maybe you won't be so lonely.
There I
What's all this hubbub about male loneliness? Y'all are acting like you're oppressed when I've opened myself up to friendships and relationships with you just to get told I have sucking eyes. That is hyper specific.
That was the joke! Though, if I had a nickel for every time I've been told that, I would have a lot of nickels. It was hyper specific. Is it clear? Was I not clearly lighthearted there? Come on. This is getting annoying. I can't make a joke. Bad luck. That's my job. Am I okay? No! I'm consistently told I have sucking eyes when they could just be like, wow, you have really pretty eyes. They're like, wow, your eyes are so pretty. I like that they're green. They're like, no, you have big sucking eyes. I mean, it's a specific thing that's been told to me, but it has been multiple times. But whatever.
Not everyone is your ex-boyfriend.
It wasn't just him, okay? Okay? It wasn't just him. Yeah, I said hubbub. I mean, it was an unserious tweet. But okay, it wasn't just him. It was a lot of people. But whatever. Is that all she had to say to mine? Is that it? Well, that's exactly what Hunter said too. They're like, this seemed to be like a shout out to like one single person. And I'm like, no, I mean, it was just kind of like a general commentary on how men cannot just like say normal things to women. That was kind of all I was getting at. Like, I'm not saying every single man has told me I have sucking eyes. I was saying that every time I try to have an open friendship with a guy, he's like, nice tits, toots. Now that I can't be specific, but you know, whatever. Everything is too specific. It's like calling out a certain person. But it was a little silly anecdote that I thought was funny. People thought it was funny, but it's okay. I can never be happy.